But for a second, I want to go back to identity. This idea that people end up tying their identity to a set of ideas, and when that gets attacked, the regions of the brain light up that have to do with, whoa, you're attacking me. It seems to me that the only way out of this trap, and that you can literally draw a line in the sand in my life of before this realization and after. So I used to value myself for being smart. That was leading me down very weird paths because I would say I'm sort of middle of the road. I'm fine. I can get by. But I am not going to be celebrated necessarily for one of the great intellects of all time. And so I realized that by valuing myself for being smart, anything that attacked that notion was just, I could not have it. And so I had to switch what I built my identity around to being that of the learner. And once I switched my identity to, oh, I don't mind being told that I'm wrong. Oh, I don't mind realizing that I don't have the right answer. Oh, I don't mind whatever. Just like, hey, if it's true, meaning if I act as if that thing is true, I can better predict the outcome of my behaviors. I'm going to adopt that. And so it became about building my ego around my willingness to stare nakedly at my inadequacies. And so that just radically changed my life. I don't see another way out of this. I think everybody, if you want to make your life better, that's the only answer. The only answer, you need an ego, you need self-esteem, you need to feel good about who you are, you need a sense of identity, you need to be able to say who you are and what value system you live by. Is there another way, or is that the one?
Well, what you're really talking about is you're taking a backpack that is heavy with rock size, with rocks that are this description of your identity and these characteristics you pride yourself on, and the things you feel certain about and that you need to make sure everyone knows you're so smart about. And all these labels you put on yourself, right? Those are all rocks that weigh down the backpack. It's heavy. What you're talking about is the magical hack of putting down the backpack and saying, actually, I'm just a learner, like you said, or some humble thing. I'm just an individual who's complicated, who evolves, and I'm just that awareness inside of the individual. And I'm going to try to get less wrong throughout my life. And I'm going to be wrong a lot, though. And I'm going to evolve. And I might be into this kind of stuff this year. And then I'll change my mind next year. I'm not part of any tribe or group necessarily, unless it's in kind of a fun way where I'm not taking it very seriously. It's liberating, right? And you're light suddenly, and now you're free you can start skipping around, learning stuff and exploring stuff and trying things. People will also like you more because you just come off more humble. It makes you seem wiser, and your ego is not getting threatened when so many different things happen, right? You're not a little petty person. So yes, but this is very hard. And you talked about meaning and identity and purpose and connection and all these things that we need. And one of my main problems with movements, a lot of certain political movements, is the ones that, and then this is no different than cults and other things, when they tell you all your answers are here. You come and join our thing and you have meaning and you have purpose and you have identity and you have righteousness and you have connection and you have a community. You know who you are now because now you are a blankist, you're whatever it is. And when you come here, all of those holes that are so painful and so hard to fill, it's like a get-rich-quick scheme. Come here, and you got it, and you have all those things. Just join our army. Of course, it's snake oil. It's a trap because those things are hard, and they emerge from deep, unique individualism that happens over long periods of time. You start to figure out meaning for yourself. You start to figure out, your purpose and what you really care about and what you really believe, right? One of the things these movements promise you is a full setup, ready to go, one-stop shop for all strong opinions. Now you know what every political issue you have, every moral thing, it's easy now. You have your answer. This is what the good people think. This is what the bad people think. Memorize the checklist and you're good to go. Read these core op-eds that we all pass around, and you know how to say all the right arguments. And so to me, what those things are doing is they're not actually filling any of those holes. They're just a kind of a sleazy get rich quick scheme that lures in vulnerable people. These are it's never bad people joining these things or believing these things. It's all often these things prey on people's empathy or their desire for connection or these human things. But to me, it's very, it's no different than kind of an abusive cult in a lot of ways. And I think that what the wise thing to teach people, especially vulnerable people, is that, you feel so bad about yourself for not knowing your meaning and not having strong opinions and not knowing what you think about all this. But actually, that's okay. No one really, most people don't know, and that's okay. And because none of that is who you are. You're really this internal awareness, and you're free to be any of these things. That's what I would want to tell people, as opposed to saying, in a certain mentality, if you don't have strong opinions on everything, you sound like an idiot, right? And I would say, no, that is not correct, right? It's that the people who have unearned conviction about everything, they're blowhards, and they don't actually, their egos are just going buck wild. So I feel like it's the exact opposite advice, and I feel like somewhere along the way you got a much better message, or you learned a much better message because, and I can say it's better because it's just, I think it's more realistic, and it is. It's as I said, it's liberating.